is Crystal with Hattis Hierophant. I am your tarot reader. This is your general reading for July. My darling, I hope you are doing well. The center of your reading is that of the Knight of Swords. Aquarius, what are we moving towards? I feel like that you are coming in with like, you have no bars. You have this freedom. Like, you know, you're speaking freely. You're acting freely. Like, listen, my energy is like matching up to what your energy is like for July. I feel like that you just have this energy to move and push forward, and you're doing it unapologetically. You know me, Aquarius, by now. You know I fumble over all of my words because this energy it's your energy. It's really hard for me to contain right now. I'm trying my darndest. So I really see you moving forward for July, August as well. You're really pushing forward new ideas, your dreams, your hopes. I hear culture. You're pushing forward culture. Something you want it to match. You want the culture to match. You want something to be matched. There's something there to where it's like you want what it's supposed to be to match with how it is, right? Like you just can't say it's this and it doesn't match up. You want it to match up. That's really important to you going forward for July, August. Even though this is a July reading. All right, my love, we're going to go into your moon energy. This is where you resonate in regards to your emotion. And this is also where you communicate with spirit. And I see we have the sun energy along with the page of pentacles and the high priestess. So with the high priestess being in your moon energy along with the sun card, these are major arcana. So this is perhaps that feeling I'm getting for July, August, because those are longer energies that stay with us and assist us. And I feel like that high priestess is really assisting you intuitively. It's almost like she's gently holding your hand and directing you exactly where you're supposed to go. She's directing exactly what you're supposed to say in order to get this freedom. I just keep hearing this freedom, and Aquarius, you already resonate that anyway. That's already who you are. You are about freedom for everyone, not just for yourself. Like everyone should feel free in who they are, what they represent, how they want to live, and how they want to be seen. This is really important for you this month. And with this page of pentacles and it being in your moon energy, you know, this is the beginning of the idea, things tangible. So, I don't know if we're thinking about how others are living, how they get health, how children get health. There's something about, and when I say children, it's not always a child. Sometimes it's just a particular stage in life or that activity that is childlike. But I do feel like that there's a thought process that's starting with you, Aquarius, in regard to those things tangible. So it's just starting, and it's starting here in your moon energy. The high priestess is helping you with that. And that sun energy is all about being, it's one of the most beautiful cards in the deck. And it's all about prosperity and longevity. But I see it more like rays, like actual, like those actual rays shining over everyone, to where it touches everyone is what I'm seeing. Honey, you and spirit are working on some stuff. Okay, so let's go to your immediate present and see what's going on there. So I have the Ace of Swords. So that's where that innovation and those ideas are coming from. And like I see them actually sparking in your moon energy. So we can expect that in your sun energy, your ego, this is where you're seen, and where I see you, right? We see each other. I can definitely see you coming forth with these ideas to the public, to your bosses, to your family members. Like I see you really pushing forward thought processes. And then we also have the Five of Swords along with the the Eight of Wands. So the energy with the Five of Swords is not everybody's going to want to listen to what you have to say, Aquarius. And I'm really seeing is like you really don't care, because I'm going to say it and you're going to hear it. And I also feel like that with this communication, right? And that's that communication. It's that rapid communication. And it's also that getting it out to the masses sort of communication. So I don't know if you're using whatever outlet you have, whether it's social media, if you actually have a blowhorn, if you can actually sit in front of YouTube, or if you actually have a TV show, cable, a blog. Like, I see whatever it is you're doing and how you communicate, you're using that as your platform to unapologetically speak your mind and your belief system. And like I said, some folks really aren't going to care. Gosh, you know what? And I just feel like the feeling's mutual from you. I also feel like that perhaps you're going to be the lead or part of signing something. So signing like a document where you get signatures, where you get like 50,000 signatures, 3,000 signatures to create change. And perhaps this is why you're using your platform to get your ideas across as well. Okay, so let's go to your immediate present. I have that of the Ace of Cups. I just feel this spread with you. And I feel that with the Ace of Cups too. It's like, this love needs to spread. It needs to go wide and far. And then I have the Ten of Pentacles. It needs to go wide and far, right? This is, the Ten of Pentacles is like a family type of card, you see, because it has the grandfather, the granddaughter, the grandson with their dogs, right? And all of the grapes that are around, that represents abundance, right? And the homes that are in the background. It's just not where they live, it's where their entire community lives. All right, let's see what else we have going on. I'm going to go back to your moon energy and see if we can expand on that, my dear. Yep. Well, we already knew that, right? All right, so we have some Gemini energy, some Taurus energy here. I expanded on that Sun card, and we have the Eight of Swords, along with the Eight of Cups. You know, and eights are it's that energy of eternal, right? It's also an energetic energy of stirring things up, right? If you actually think about the number 8 and the figure 8, you're really stirring things up to create an energy, to create a synergy, to create a movement, right? And because we do have this 8 of Swords, I feel like that this is where, like, you're tired of this, right? You're tired of everyone acting like you don't know what the heck is going on. Like, that's not an energy of yours. To me, that's the energy of all. You're feeling like it's, you feel like it's a big majority of people which whom you're trying to get to. Like, I'm tired of this way of thinking of all. Remove the mask. See what it really is. And with this 8 of Cups, and that's an emotional disconnect, right? And I feel like you were emotionally disconnecting from those people whom you thought, I don't know, were your friends, or maybe it just never gotten to this point to where you were having these sort of conversations, and you've emotionally disconnected from them and from it. Now, when I expand on that High Priestess, right, we have the 8 of Pentacles along with the Hierophant. And, the Hierophant represents, larger entities, like a lawyer's office, district attorney. It represents companies, it represents churches, it represents those big organizations, Congress, big politicians and everything that's underneath that. right? And whatever that means to you, because it doesn't have to be something that grand. It could just be, you know, this group that you're involved with, right? To where there is a leader and we all gather together and follow this leader. So I feel like with that Eight of Pentacles there, I don't know if somehow you're going to be meeting with these groups and you're going to assist with writing new things down on how things can be changed, right? I hear you're going to be a part of like even making new laws or bylaws, making new guidelines, making new rules even for this particular group. And it really, I feel like you're really streamlining some things. I don't see you sitting down and you're like, we don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. This doesn't make any sense. And you're gathering the things that do, and those are coming together along with some things that kind of are at the top and at the bottom. But it's like we're going through and we're getting rid of those things that are no longer necessary, useful, and didn't make sense to begin with. Now, when I expand on that Page of Pentacles, we have the Lovers card along with the King of Cups and the Six of Pentacles. Now, to me, this is more relationship oriented, right? So I feel like that in regards to love relations, okay? Really for the month of July, you are going to, because you're going to be so involved with making things right for them in this expansion for everyone. Don't forget about them that are at home, them that's your partner, right? Make sure that you're giving and creating a type of balance with your relationship as well. Don't forget the loved ones is the message that I'm getting. Don't forget, I don't know, there's just something with kids. I don't know if you have children or, you know, family, right? I feel like that we just want to make sure that we don't ignore them, okay? And because we do have that Lovers card there and we have that Gemini energy, and Gemini is really all about being a good communicator. Not only a good communicator, but one that can speak to where everyone can relate, right? To where it's not so confusing that, you know, you're like, okay, do I have to be a scientist to understand what Aquarius just said? You make it so super simple that anyone who's listening can pay attention. And that's the encouragement here, is to really keep things as simple and direct as possible, okay? Yeah, just make sure that as much energy as you're putting into these belief systems that you're trying to get across, that you put that same energy into those loving relationships that you have. It has to be purposeful, because if it's not purposeful, if it feels phony, like you're just filling in time, you won't fool them. All right, so I expanded on that Ace of Swords, and we have the Emperor along with the Four of Cups. So this is an energy, and these are both fours, and you know, fours are about stability, right? Because if you have a table, you need four legs to make them stable. And that Emperor is also that energy of big boss, or even, you know, daddy-like figure. So I feel like, again, these feelings that are translating from your moon energy coming into your sun energy, honey, you are going to these big bosses and you're like, we are not satisfied. We are not satisfied with what you think is a blessing to us. We're not satisfied on what you think is a blessing for them. We're not satisfied with the blessing that you think is for everyone. Let's talk about it. I have some ideas. So I see you really moving forward with that. And again, yeah, this is it's coming in your sun energy too, Aquarius. Like we mentioned before, in regards to your love relationships, even if you're especially if you're just starting out, if you have something that's more established, they're gonna know if you're not being sincere. But if you're starting out with just a beginning type of relationship, and if you don't pay attention to it, it will fizzle out in July. All right, so I expanded on that Eight of Wands. We have the Ace of Wands along with the King of Pentacles. So we have more of that legacy type energy. We saw it in your immediate present. Now it's in your Sun energy. So we really want to move forward energetically, and you're giving that energy. You're given that energy from Spirit to move, to create that legacy, right? And legacies aren't just created for your immediate family. They're created for everyone, right? The legacy of the White House, the legacy of hospitals. What I mean by that, these are structures that were built to go on and on and on to become better and better and better for all, right? At least that's the idea. And I see you really pushing that concept forward because it needs to match up. So I expanded on that Five of Wands, and we have the Temperance energy here along with the Knight of Wands. So again, energetically you are pushing forward, but we do want to make sure that we are balanced in our activities and what we're doing, that we're creating a balance of this is serious, we need to move this serious, but also in a calm way, right? Balance it, right? Like that figure eight, like stir it up. But if you do it too fast, you're going to create a mess. You do it too slow, it won't create anything. It's all a matter of putting just enough pressure. Okay? As we're mixing it up. All right, so let's expand on this Ace of Cups. Did I go over your immediate present at all? Did I do that? Well, honey, you had the Ace of Cups. Yes, we did. We did. And the Ten of Pentacles, we did. So I'm expanding on those. Yeah. So, and we're going to expand some more. I just feel like we need to get to this. So I expanded on that Ace of Cups, and I have the Five of Cups along with the Queen of Cups. So obviously emotionally we're going to be really involved in July, Aquarius. And again, I keep getting like that children-like energy, and perhaps these are even friends from the past that are also coming up. And you know, this is also that energy of every lifetime, you know, lifetime relationships that show up every lifetime. You may start experiencing that too, like this kinship that you can't explain, but you have a connection, right? And I definitely feel that because it is coupled up with the Queen of Cups. And she's almost like the ambassador of not necessarily love, but compassion, right? And I feel like we are going to have to use that compassionate side of us, Aquarius, as we are going forward with these new conversations and these new ideas, because it's hard to get rid of an old way of thinking, because that was an old way of living. And to come in and say, change it, it's going to require some compassion from both sides. And how that's going to happen is through your example. Okay? Now, I expanded on that Ten of Pentacles, and you have the Five of Cups along with the Devil energy. So, again, with this being in your immediate present, I really do see you being an advocate of change, being an advocate of removing these shackles of misconceptions. And you're really going to express that. Like I said, I just really see you pushing forward for expansion. I want it to expand to everyone. I want it to touch everyone. Like I feel like that you want the heat, the warmth of the rays of this sun to touch everyone's skin. And Aquarius, let's not get so caught up in the conversation of the things that aren't working. That's really important. Don't get caught up in that conversation. Okay, so let's expand on this Knight of Swords, because obviously you have some activity going on here. Yeah. All right, honey. So this is the thing when you start moving forward with your authentic self, and when you start fighting the good fight, and when you start expressing how expansion for everyone is, it's not a privilege, right? It's a right. It's the right thing to do, right? So although through all this activity, you are going to be celebrated, and it's going to be like, well done, Aquarius. And, you know, we appreciate this work, because that's what this is. This is job well done after work was put in, and you see those people celebrating you, right? Because it involved everyone, not just the person on the horse, but the people who are also following. But with that, we are going to have to let go of certain processes and ideas. It's going to be really difficult for some people to live with, right? And it may cause you a bit of anxiety, because what comes with that burden of change is people around you tend to change too. People around you tend to show you who they really are, right? And some of them are going to cause a bit of anxiety for you. But that's because we're starting this new cycle, Aquarius, right? You're also ruled in part by Saturn, and that's one of responsibility. And it's also one of courage, because in order to welcome in a new cycle and know that you have to complete it, it involves courage. It involves you doing something you normally wouldn't do, and it may, you know, ruffle the feathers of some folks, but you still proceed forward. It's courage. And this is that energy that is going to be around you during this whole process. All right, my dear, I know that was a very specific reading, so I hope it resonated with you, my Aquarius. And let's choose your angel card for July. And it is one of understanding. I think we talked about this, right, during your reading. Is understanding those people that are having a hard time with the transition because they lived a certain way and thought a certain way for so long. That was their life, right? So understand the transition, no matter how backwards it may seem to you. It was still how they lived. So definitely look at the perspective, okay? And help them see yours. All right, my love. I hope that resonated with you. I absolutely adore you. I hope you have a wonderful July.